Let's get started with a quick posture tech today. So we're gonna start with our core because everything should really originate from your center. So with the core, you want to feel a slight hug in and a lengthening upwards. Be careful about sucking in your stomach really hard. There is kind of a slight in, but it's not as much as what you think it would be where you are super uncomfortable. But it's almost like you're so long in your core that every single vertebrae of your spine is stretched. Next, we'll move on to the hips. You want them directly under you. And what that means is you don't want your hips in front of your core. You don't want your hips behind your core. You literally just want it stacked on top perfectly. Just a straight line in the front of the hips. So one thing that I find really helpful to think about is the idea of your hip rotating. So if you have your hands on your hips, you can essentially rotate your pelvis forward and back and forward and back. And if I just did that with the hand motions, it's forward and back and forward and back. And you see how my hands are moving like this? You essentially just want like the opening to be facing upwards. So you don't want the opening of your hips to be facing this way or facing back. You want it just to be facing the ceiling. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of a strange explanation without some kind of like skeleton demo. Next is going to be your thighs. So what you really want to think about is your thighs pushing together and forward. So if I had a notebook between my thighs, what I'm doing is squeezing the notebook with my thighs, and then I'm pushing it forward towards you. And that's the rotation of the thighs that I am talking about. Okay, going back to our checklist, core up and in, hips directly under you, thighs are pushing together and forward, and heels are together. We'll just stay in first position for now. Then we'll move on to our upper body. With your shoulders, what you really want to feel is wide. So you don't want to do this and kind of hunch over. You want your shoulders slightly back, down, and just really wide, like you're pushing something with both arms. That idea of opening your chest a little bit, but not opening your chest so much that you open your ribs. The ribs are still in and up, but the chest is open. That's gonna be a funny one to think about. All right, so that's it. You're done with the lesson today. So this basic ballet posture is something that you'll maintain essentially all the time in every position, but it will get a little bit more difficult. Right now we are on 2 legs, and then eventually we're gonna be on 1 leg, and that 1 leg will go off the ground and go higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And then that is when you're gonna have to do a lot of adjustments to maintain the posture. And we'll talk about that when we get to it. But for now, let's get straight into plies. So let's start in first position with 2 demis and 1 grande. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, and 7, and 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Transition on 8 to second position. Same thing, 2 demis, 1 grande. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Grande, 2, 3, 4. Remember, your heels are down when you're at the bottom of your grand plie. In your first position, your heels are up when you're doing your grand plie. In second position, your heels are down all the time, the whole entire time. All right, so 2 demis, 1 grande. Then we'll transition to fifth position, 2 demis, 1 grande. Transition to fifth position, left foot front, 2 demis, 1 grande, and then we're gonna run out of music. So when you're doing your demi-plies, some common mistakes is not keeping the idea of your hips being just right under you. Something that happens quite often is people kind of do this and up, and this and up, like there's a chair back there. You want it to be directly under your core. So just straight down and straight up. So what I demonstrated earlier was like the really extreme version where you're doing this. And most people are not going to do that. Most people are going to be a little bit back, just a tiny little bit, and they need to be here instead. And one thing that will help with just going directly up and down is thinking about your knees going sideways, and you're making a really large diamond shape with your legs. Just be aware about what your hips are doing when you're doing your plies, and let's just get straight into this combination. 6, and 7, and 8. Directly down, and up, demi-plie, push the ground to come up, now demi, now directly down as you go to grand plie, don't stick your butt out, press your foot down to the ground, and come up. Let's go into second position. Knees side, and up, and demi-plie, and up. Pull your core in as you're pushing down. Heels on the ground, demi, and straight. Let's go into fifth. Demi-plie, and up. Demi-plie, and up. Make sure both hips are facing forward equally. Demi, all the way down. Press to demi. Same thing, left foot front. 2 demis, 1 grand. Fifth position is going to be the hardest position for most people, to just plie with their hips right underneath their core. Just directly down, you can do it. Knees side, and keep the knee side as you come up. Let's Tendu back to first position. That's it. Good job, everyone. I know that was a lot to think about. Before we move on to Tendus, I just want to quickly talk about posture and alignment again. So let's start with what you do know, which is the posture or the alignment in first position with the core pulled up, thighs are rotating, shoulders down and wide. When you are on one leg, you have to move your whole entire body and shift your hip over the ball of that standing foot. So you don't want to just shift to the heel, which is what most people are going to want to do because it feels way more comfortable there. You want to be on the ball of your standing foot. So take your stacking, take your posture, take your alignment, and just move it over. And this is going to be really hard at first. Most people are going to want to do something like this, where they start tilting a little bit, kind of to counterbalance, because they don't want to shift their weight on the ball of the foot. It's going to take some time to get used to, but just play around with that. Next, we are going to be doing tendus. So we're going to start in first position, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Half point, then full point, then half point and close. Half and full, and half and close. To the side, same thing, and half and close. Half, full point, and half and close. To the back, full point, and half and close. And 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Encore. 1, 2, 3, close 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we'll do the same thing double time. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 2 to tendus, to the side, 2 tendus, to the back, 2 tendus, to the side. And then after that, we'll plie and releve. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll come down on 8, and then we'll stretch 1, 2, roll back 3, 4, other side, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The music is going to be much slower than how I counted it because I really just wanted to get through this combination. Okay, let's get straight into the right side, starting in first position, 7 and 8. Half toe, full toe, half toe, and close again. Full and half and close. Same thing to the side. Full and half point. Drag that foot in. Half and point that foot. Half and close to the back, directly behind you. Half toe and close. Half and full. Half and close. And let's remember that to the side, it's not right next to you, it's slightly in front of you, following your natural line of turnout. Half and full. Half and close. Faster. Tendu, close, side, close, side, close, tendu back, close, tendu back, close, and side, close. Let's plie releve, plie, and all the way up. Pull your thighs up, kneecaps up, abs in. Getting ready to come down in plie to do our stretches with the right arm to the left side. Roll back and recover. Left arm. Roll back. Nicely done, everyone. So let's go over some common mistakes that I see in tendus that's related to posture and alignment. So when you tendu front, something that happens often is that people let go of this hip. So what I mean is they do this and their hip goes forward like that. But when you're in first position, your hips are flat. When you're tendu front, it should also be that same flatness. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're tenduing front. For side, remember, your side is not directly side of you. It is slightly in front of you, because if it is directly side of you, you'll open your hips and you'll open the side like this, and you don't want that. So again, slightly in front of you. To the back, I get so many questions about this. So when your leg is behind you, you have to think about really pulling up on that standing side, right? You don't lean forward to counterbalance. You have to be straight up and down like we talked about, the right stacking. This is not the right stacking. It's a stacking, but it's not the one we want. You want to be directly up and down. And the way to not lean forward when your leg is behind you is to really, really pull up on that standing leg and the standing side body. You have to think directly up, not forward. Realistically, there might be like a tiny little shift forward with your upper body. It's very small, and you will go forward a tiny bit, but you don't want to think about forward. You want to think up, 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 up with the core. All right, let's get started with the left side now. Starting in first position, half toe and then full toe with the left leg. To the front and full toe, half toe, first position. Again, really point that foot that's in front of you. And remember, not directly side when you go side. Full and half toe. Getting ready to go back, lifting up on that standing leg and not tilting forward. Abs in and up. Half and full. Half to the side. Half and full. All right, double time. Make sure that that left hip stays back and doesn't come forward with your leg. Side, close to the back, back, side, side. Let's plie releve. Up and balance. 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's come down on 8. Stretching with the left arm. 1, 2, roll back. Other side. And that's it, everyone. Next, we are going to do tendus and jetés with one arm at the bar. We'll start in 5th position, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and jete, and point, close fifth, and hold again, jete, point, close fifth, to the side, and tendu, close front, tendu, close back, 3 tendus, this is the 4th tendu, then jete, point, close fifth, and hold, jete, point, close fifth, to the back, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, jete, tendu, and close, and hold, jete, tendu, hold, and close. This is en croix, close back, and tendu, close front, tendu, close back, tendu, close front, jete, point, close, and hold, jete, point, close, and that's it. Something that will be helpful to think about is that you're on one leg the whole entire time. Start off in 5th position, weight is equally distributed on 2 legs, 5, 6, 7, 8, the first tendu. Now you're on one leg and close, and you're on the one leg the whole time. Even though this is closing in 5th position, there is no weight. So the whole entire time, this leg is the weight-bearing leg. You have to work on pulling up in the thighs, pulling up in the core to stabilize yourself, essentially.
This is going to be a very speedy combination. What is going to help you go fast is to stay on the standing leg the whole entire time and not shift weight back and forth. Tendu, 2, 3, 4 jetes, off, point, close, hold. Off the ground, point, close, hold. To the side, close front, close back, jete, tendu, close. Jete, tendu, close to the back. To the side. Remember your side is a little bit in front of you, not directly side. Jete, point, close. Now really point that foot into the ground. That's it.
So before we move on to the left side, something I want you to pay attention to is making sure that you're coming back to a proper 5th position, especially in the fast tendus. Something that is going to be very tempting to do is to do your fast tendus and end your 5th here. Your 5th is not here, it's here, right? So you have to squeeze into 5th position, squeeze both legs into 5th position. It's gonna be really hard to execute at first, but I want you to just keep that in mind as you do this combination.
All right, starting with 4 tendus front. Close 5th, close 5th. Both heels on the ground when you close. Jete, tendu, close and hold. To the side, heel down, heel down. Try to use your thighs to squeeze both legs together on the closing. Jete, tendu, close to the back. Squeeze your thighs, squeeze your thighs. 7 and 8, jete, tendu, close 5th. Last time around. Elbow up. Jete. That's it. Congrats, everyone. That was so fast.
Let's move straight into our Ronde Jambe combination, starting in 5th position, 5, 6, 7, 8, and tendu. Lift, point, close 5th. Tendu, and lift, point, close 5th. Tendu, just lift a little bit. Point, close 5th. This is en croix, lift, point, and close. We'll Ronde Jambe front, all the way back, and front, all the way back, and 5, 6, 7, close 8. You have to cheat that last one, and then we'll stretch 1, 2, come up 3, 4, back, 6, 7, and 8. Reversing this whole thing, tendu, little lift, point, close 5th. To the side, little lift, point, close 5th. To the front, lift 3 inches, point, close 5th, side, lift, point, close fifth. And then 4 Ronde jambes, back and front, 5 and 6 and 7. Cheat, close on 8 really quickly. Then we'll stretch to the bar for 1, 2. Come up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that's it, everybody. Something I want you to think about is what we're doing right before the Ronde jambes. You're doing a tendu, and then when you lift, I want you to think about not just picking the leg up, but like the leg is being pulled out of your socket almost. It is growing super long. So this leg is really reaching, like pulling out of your socket. This leg is also pushing into the ground, really reaching, and it's almost like it's pushing so hard that it's gonna dislocate from your hip. I know that's not a really nice imagery, but that's the only thing I can really think of how to explain this, is that there's so much space being created on this hip because this is lifting and your leg is going down, your upper body is going up, and it's creating space right here. That's not physically what is possible, but just think about that because you really just want to free your hip flexors, right?
Just so we're clear, nothing's actually being ripped out of your hip. It's just an imagery. Let's get started. Tendu front. And lift and point, close fifth to the side. Keep that leg reaching as you lift and still reaching as it touches the ground to close. Tendu back, reach that leg, point, close fifth. Make sure to reach a standing leg down into the ground also. And tendu, close front. Ronde jambe, all the way around. Front, all the way around. Go through first position here. Your heel has to touch the ground as you go through first position. And stretch, 2, come up 3, and 4. Stretch up to go back. Getting ready to reverse this whole thing. Starting with the tendu lift, back, and lift, point, close fifth to this side. Tendu, lengthen both legs out of the hip. Tendu, close front. Tendu front, lengthen, and lengthen as your leg lowers to closes. Last time. And back, around. Go through first position, around. 5 and 6. This is 7, close on 8. Stretch to the bar. Recover. Abs in, hips facing forward.
So I want to quickly talk about the stretches side to side at the end of this combination. You're going to be in fifth position and your hips are facing forward, you're up, and you know, all the good stuff with the posture and alignment. And when you stretch to the side, something that's going to happen is you're going to want to twist this whole entire upper body like this. And your hip is going to want to do this. But you don't want any of that to happen. You want to still face forward, still have the chest open, the core pull up, and you still want to just stretch like this. So not like this where you're twisted, just perfectly aligned, right? So pull this hip back a little bit is what you're gonna have to think about. Okay, let's go straight into the left side.
Seven and 8. Tendu front. Reach. Tendu. Close fifth. Resist against the ground as you tendu. Lift. Tendu, push into the ground to close, push into the ground to tendu, and reach both legs. Tendu, close fifth. To the side. Really point that foot. And of course, elbow up. Front, all the way around. Tendu front and around. This is 7, you're gonna close on 8. And stretch forward. And up to go back. Get ready to reverse. Back. Lengthen. Tendu. Close 5th. Abs in. Core pulling up. Reach. Front. Make sure your shoulders are both facing forward and not twisted. Same thing with the hips. Tendu, close, back, ronde jambes. Back, all the way around. Back, around. 5 and 6, 7, close on 8. Stretch to the bar. 1, 2. Watch out for the hips twisting. Keep them both facing forward and away. Recover, and that's it.
We are going to be doing a quick stretch together. I'll briefly go over the stretches, but you can just follow along because it's going to be quite slow. We're going to start with stretching our right calf for 8 counts. So my right leg is back. And then we're going to do same thing, left leg back for 8 counts. Then we're going to do our hip opener. This is going to go on for 8 counts. Other side, 8 counts. Going straight into a lunge. And at this point, it doesn't really matter what side you're doing. I like doing right side always first because it just feels easy, but it doesn't really matter what you want to do. 8 counts. You can lunge however it is you feel comfortable lunging. Doesn't matter too much. Other side, 8 counts. I like having my knee on the ground and having my foot pointed in the back. And then after that, we're gonna get up and we're gonna do 4 plie releves, plie and up, 4 of those, and then 2 plie arches, plie and up, down, plie, force arch, up, hold, 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 and the music's over. I will call this all out. Let's get started. 7 and 8. Right leg back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Switch, left leg back. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hip stretch or a figure 4 stretch. My right leg is on top of my left and I'm sticking out my butt a little bit. 7 and 8. Other side. I'm really feeling my left hip opening here. And then we're gonna go straight into a lunge. My right leg is forward. 6, 7, and 8. Other side. All right, let's meet in first position. We're gonna do plie, up, plie, up, plie, up, plie, and up. Plie, force arch, up, and down again. And we'll stay here just for a tiny bit, off the music. Remember the posture stuff that we talked about, try to implement it here, even on releve. It's gonna be quite difficult, but you can do it. Okay, let's come down. We are on our last combination of today. We are just going to do Developpes en croix, 8 counts. Let me just quickly refresh your mind if you forgot what a Developpe looks like. 5, 6, 7, 8 with the arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 45 degrees, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the side, 6, 7, 8 to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. En croix. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we'll stretch to the bar for 1, 2, all the way down. Come up to the bar again, roll back, and then we'll plie, we'll balance and sous-sus high fifth, let go of the bar. Balance for as long as you feel comfortable balancing. Remember all the posture stuff applies, right? And then we'll come down from there. Some quick reminders, the arms are optional. If you haven't learned the coordination with the arms, you don't have to do it. That's totally okay. Keep your arms in second position. And another reminder is that the Developpe is dancer's choice, which means that in the 8 counts, you have to do 1 Developpe. But it is up to you to figure out how fast or slow you want to do it and how long you want to hold your leg out in the air. And the last thing is that I want you to try this Developpe combination at 45 degrees highest. And the reason is that I really just want you to feel what the alignment is like in a Developpe when it's low so that you can keep that alignment when it is high. So when your leg is out, this leg is reaching super far away from you, like it's being pulled out of your hip. This leg is also reaching really far away from you in the sense that it's reaching down into the ground and your upper body is reaching up, so it's creating space. There should be space in both hip flexors. Okay, that's enough yabbering. Let's just go straight to the combination.
Seven and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, close 8. You can pick your own timing for this. 3 and 4, reach both legs. And Tendu, close 5th to the back. 1, 2, knee side. 3 and 4. Make sure the standing leg is straight and pulled up. Abs are pulled up, especially to the back. To the side. Remember, it doesn't matter how high your leg is right now. It's better to just feel both legs lengthening away from the hip. Tendu and close. Get ready to stretch. 1 and 2, all the way down. 3, 4. Into the bar again. 6 and roll back. And let's plie. Let's sous balance. You can hold this for as long as you want. Thighs are squeezing against each other. Ankles are trying to stabilize. Ab is pulled up. Good job, everyone. You're almost done.
A quick note that I want to mention before we move on to the left side is that when your legs are higher, the alignment is slightly different. So when you're in Tendu, there is no tilting forward just because it's not off the ground. And as your leg gets higher and higher and higher, you are able to tilt the body forward a bit, but you can't let it go. You can't let go of the upper body. Your abs are still doing what it's doing when you're on 2 foot in first position. It's still trying to lift up and your shoulders are still pressing down and wide. All the stuff still applies and you're still engaging in your upper body. It's just that you do have to go forward a bit so that this leg can counterbalance. And the higher this leg goes, the more forward you will be. But since this is only 45 degrees, don't tilt too much. Don't just let your upper body go. So this is me in first position and I'm standing just flat and my hips are flat. And this is me in 45 degrees. So there is a slight forward, okay? But again, the key word is slight. Okay, everyone, let's move on to the last thing for today. You can do this.
I know you're tired, but you're almost there. You can do this. Coupe and passe. Remember, you have to be on the ball of that standing foot. Reach both legs away from the hips. Tendu and close to the side. That hip should just be moved over to the standing leg, not tilted, just moved over. To the back. And as you develop lift that ab up, you can go forward just a bit. Point that foot in the back. Last time. The side leg should be slightly forward, just like how it is in Tendu. You can do it, you're almost there. Keep the foot pointed, elbow up. Tendu and close. Let's stretch. roll back. And then we'll plie to go to susu. Try to feel your legs lengthening into the ground and your upper body lengthening up towards the ceiling. There should be an opposition. Relaxing the throat. And whenever you're ready, you can come down. Good job, everyone, on completing today's absolute beginner barre. I will see you all in another video. Thank you so much for dancing with me. Have a good rest of your day.